Welcome back. This is The Globe on SABC News. Police in Mali's capital, Bamako, have fired tear gas to disperse demonstrators who came out for a second day of anti-government protests despite the government's call for dialogue. President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta said he had launched an investigation into the violence on Friday when at least one person was killed when thousands of demonstrators attacked the National Assembly.
Similar protests took place in other Malian cities as well. The opposition's call for civil disobedience includes suggestions such as not paying fines, blocking entry to state buildings and occupying crossroads. After weeks of growing political tension, President Keïta gave a speech on Wednesday in which he offered to appoint new judges to the Constitutional Court. The matter has been at the center of controversy since April 29th, when the court overturned provisional results for March's parliamentary poll for about 30 seats. There is discontent in the country over a long-running jihadist conflict, an economic crisis, and disputed legislative elections. A new opposition coalition led by the conservative Imam Mahmoud Diko this week said it had dropped its demand for President Keïta to step down. But it is still insisting on further reforms after rejecting concessions from the Malian president, including the formation of a unity government.
Kassoum Coulibaly is the national coordinator of the SME Development Support Program of the Republic of Mali. He joins us now on the line. Kassoum, a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
We are very well, Kassoum. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We understand that the internet is down. Was it switched off?
Yes. Since yesterday, a protest between the opposition coalition and the government, internet has been disturbed since yesterday. But we try to do our best to do in line with the order of the judge.
Well, what's the situation on the streets as we speak?
As we speak right now, there are a lot of fighting between the young people in the streets and against the police people actually. So now, because since yesterday afternoon until yesterday night, the police people have been arrested, some of the leaders of the opposition coalition. And till today morning and also this afternoon, some of the leaders have been arrested. Young people inside the opposition coalition are continuing to protest President Keïta, and the police people are also fighting against them. And they are also belong from farmers in the city, in front of the mosque of the Imam. And it's a very bad situation when we are sitting in Bamako.
Well, we understand that the president unsuccessfully floated some reforms which were meant to appease the opponents. And also having rejected their calls to dissolve the parliament and to form a transition government. Could this have contributed to the unrest? I mean, what's the true source of these protests?
The problem is that since the beginning of the democratic process in Mali in 1919, there is a lot of government challenges and corruption issues. So since the President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta arrived in power in 2013, there are a lot of challenges about governance and the peace agreement taken with the rebels. And lastly, when we have the MP's election, there is some mistakes made by the Constitutional Court to change the results of the election. That's the last thing that makes the people very hungry against the power and also the government in place. And the first time they were saying that they want the president to step down. And after some negotiations with the conservative Imam Mahmoud Diko to make a peace, facilitation between the two parts, we decided to change the demand on how they can change the constitutional court, how they can, break down all of the National Assembly of MPs and how they can change the Prime Minister and all the government so that they can have a new government process in the country. The President rejects this proposal coming from the opposition coalition. And then now, lastly, the government, the President himself have a speech, the national speech to the television, but this decision makes the people hungry. And yesterday they took the third meeting, big meeting in Bamako, and they decided to go to take over all of the public administration and institution of the country of Mali. Not only in Bamako, but also in over big cities in Mali, like Ségou, like Sikasso, and like Kai, and other places. So now it's very difficult to have an agreement between the two parts. But we hope that with the intervention of the ECOWAS, countries who are borders our Mali, we can find a solution to put the people together to discuss and to have a dialogue. The big challenge at that moment that since the beginning of this issue on 5th of June, there is no good dialogue process between the opposition coalition and the President of the Republic of Mali. So that is the issue now. We need to see how we can find the solution. But now, by arresting the leaders of the political, the coalition, the opposition coalition, can be a very dangerous action taken by the government at that place. Today, we have 4 people dead, and more than 50 people who have been, have been difficult in their health now. So it's a very bad situation in the country. Yeah.
Now, Kassoum, are these protests perhaps not disturbing a joint military campaign against Islamic insurgents in the West African Sahel region?
The West African countries came in to meet all of the parties, like the government, like the president, and the opposition coalition people. And they said that we need to see, because in the 147 MPs who have been elected, we have about 30 of them who have been some difficult of the election. So the ECOWAS ministry said that we need to see how we can organize partial elections so that we can have the new election and to re-elect the people who have been elected. The second proposal they made is that to see how we can work on the constitutional court to make it very well organized and to have the new people inside so we can judge the election issues. But the problem is that the government and the president himself rejected this proposal from the ECOWAS ministers of foreign affairs. So this is the issue now. Now I think that the ECOWAS can come back again and to see how to make a dialogue possible between the two parties.
Now, protesters have cited long-running security issues. They also talk about the economic woes that have ravaged the country and perceived government corruption. Talk to us about this and the economy in general, and of course, the corruption in particular.
Yes, Mali is a big country where the main economy is driven by agriculture activities. But when we see the governance issue, there is a lot of governance challenges in the country. The institutions are not working so well. The people, mostly people in the public service are most corrupted. And every year, there is an independent office who make, the audit of the public services. And they make that we have more than 100 billion francs CFA from the country, which is about $200 million US has been stolen by the people. And now, let me tell you about the army situation. We have been defeated by the rebels, and the government said that we have more than $2 billion US to invest in the army equipment. using this amount of money, which is very, very high and big for a poor country like Mali. We have bought some planes, army planes, but not all of them are working. We have bought a lot of cars for the army to fight the rebels. Not possible. They are not working. Every day, you have about more than 30, 50 people are being killed by the terrorist people in the north part of Mali and the central part of Mali. So this is the issue now in Mali. The people who have been, judged like they have been indicated that they are corrupted people, and we all know that there are corrupted people. Never people have been arrested nor been judged in the country. So this is frustrating all of the people, and the country is becoming poor and poor. People are losing their job. People are losing their investment. And no international investment is coming more in the country. So we are in a situation where the economy is going down and down. We are in a situation where the political issues are not well being organized, and we are in a situation where terrorists are every day increasing the activities in the northern part and central part of Mali. So we are in a situation. We are just only Bamako, the capital city, and the south part of Mali, which has a bit of security and peace now. So it's difficult now. We are all agreed that the situation is very bad, and the corruption is the most disease in the country, so that we need to stop this process as soon as possible to let people work and to let investors come and invest in the economy and to make...
We don't have much time, unfortunately. But will this instability likely play into the hands of the jihadists who are said to be behind the escalating violence in Mali? Just how influential are they in Mali's politics?
Let me tell you that their influence has become very, very well time before today. I can remember the president of Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, who is now leading the opposition coalition, was the president of the High Council of Muslim Affairs in Mali for more than 10 years. And in 1929, he organized the first Muslim protest against the Family Act in Mali. So the president at that moment, that the president Amadou Touré refused to ratify the Family Act that has been adopted by the parliament. So from that time, 10 years ago or 11 years ago, they have taken a lot of big power in the country. But the issue is that now, the conservative people also are part of the Muslims. There are about 10% of the 95% of Muslims in Mali. There is no conservative leader also who is called Imam, Sharif Usman Maren Aydara, who has also in coalition. And both of them, I understand their plan is to take over the control of the state, which is the main issue. So the fight they have today is the two parts, and who will be able to take control of the state.
All right, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there for now, Kassoum. But thank you so much for your analysis of the developments coming out of Mali. We appreciate your time. That is Kassoum Coulibaly. He is the National Coordinator of the SME Development Support Program of the Republic of Mali. And we'll leave it there for now. We'll be back shortly with all the latest news. This is The Globe.